So this is the scapula of ox. It is a flat triangular bone which has two surfaces. This one is the lateral surface and this one is the medial surface. Lateral surface is divided into two unequal halves by a scapular spine which is wavy in the outline. It is thickened in the middle and in the upper part directing backward and in the lower part directing forward, and at the lower part it overhangs into a prominent process which is called as the acromion process. This acromion process gives rise to the acromial head of the deltoideus muscle. Now 1/4 anterior part is the supraspinatus fossa, which lodges the supraspinatus muscle, and this 3/4 part is the infraspinatus fossa, which lodges the infraspinatus muscle. The scapular spine is thickened in the middle, and this is for the attachment of the trapezius muscle. Now the medial surface or the medial surface, or also called as the costal surface, it has a shallow fossa which is called as the subscapularis fossa and lodges the subscapularis muscle. In the anterior upper part there is a triangular rough area, and this triangular rough area is for the attachment of serratus cervicis muscle, and in the posterior part another rough area which is the for the attachment of serratus thoracis muscle. Now this scapula of ox has three borders. This one is the anterior border, which is thin and convex in the upper part and concave in the lower part. This one is the vertebral border or the dorsal border. This is for the attachment of the scapular cartilage, and this one is the posterior border, which is thick and running downward and slightly concave in the lower part. This posterior border also has one nutrient foramen, and in the lower part rough lines for the attachment of the teres minor muscle. This scapula has three angles. This one is the anterior angle, which is formed by the vertebral border and the anterior border. This is thin and sharp. The posterior angle is formed by the vertebral border as well as with the posterior border, and this is thick and roughened. Now this one is the articular angle. It has the glenoid cavity, which is for the attachment or the articulation of head of the humerus, and on the anterior medial part one developed the tuber scapulae, which give rise to the origin of bicep brachii muscle. On its medial part the coracoid process is present, which is the remnant of the coracoid bone, and this gives rise to the coracobrachialis muscle. The glenoid notch is not very prominent in case of the ox. Now we will compare the scapula of ox with that of the horse. Now this is the scapula of the horse. You can see this scapular spine is more thickened and it divides the lateral surface into 1/3 anterior part and 2/3 the posterior part. Anterior angle is posterior surface or the medial surface. This subscapularis fossa, it is more deeper as compared to that of the ox. Anterior border is sharp. Anterior border is more convex in the upper part and concave in the lower part. Posterior border is comparatively thicker and nutrient foramen is also present. This neck of the scapula is more broader, and the glenoid cavity, it is more developed, and glenoid notch, it is also more developed. The tuber scapulae is also more developed in case of horse, and this one is the coracoid process, which give rise to the coracobrachialis muscle. Next comes the scapula of dog. scapula of dog is comparatively more longer, and the scapular spine, it divides the lateral surface into almost two equal halves. This one is the anterior border and it is convex and concave in the lower part. The supraspinatus fossa and infraspinatus fossa, they are almost equal, but infraspinatus fossa, it is much more deeper. The acromion process is more developed and it overhangs the glenoid cavity, and just below this is the metaacromion process. The posterior or the medial surface, the subscapularis fossa is shallow, and this area is for the attachment of the serratus cervicis muscle, and this is for the attachment of the serratus thoracis muscle. Now comes the glenoid cavity. It is much more deeper and the neck of the scapula is more prominent. This is the tuber scapulae and coracoid process, it is almost absent. Then comes the, in case of dog, the anterior angle is rounded and thin, whereas the posterior angle is very sharp and thick. This is the scapula of pig. The lateral surface is divided into almost two equal halves by the triangular scapular spine, and this is the characteristic feature of the scapula of pig, and this is for the attachment of the trapezius muscle. Anterior border is thicker as compared to the other animals and rounded or convex in the upper part, concave in the lower part. Posterior angle is border is much more thicker and almost straight, projecting downward. Anterior angle is sharp and thin, whereas posterior angle is pointed as well as the thick. Now the glenoid cavity, it is much more deeper. Glenoid notch is absent. Tuber scapulae is developed, and this is the coracoid process, which is very not very prominent. The subscapularis fossa, it is much more deeper as compared to the other animals. So this is all about the scapula of ox and its comparison with the other animals. Thank you.